What is up, everybody? I am your host and longest reigning and the best WWE pay-per-view champion of all time. I am the one you all came to see, the hot commodity, and see. And I'm joined by my good friend and longtime co-host. Introduce yourself, sir.
My name's Christian, longtime co-host on Censored Pro Wrestling Podcast. You know, um, we're on the road to Clash of the no, it's not even Clash of the Champions anymore. Night of Champions. Um, it's in different country. It's in Saudi Arabia. They're good for wrestling fans. But I thought this Raw was okay. I I'm not too excited with what WWE's producing as of recent. That's why I'm like there's a show like Raw's coming to my 20 minutes away. I'm not bothering to go. I just don't care. I've seen it so I'm kind of not too thrilled of what the product is right now, but we'll talk about it.
Okay, respect. I agree that there's been some weird push-ups. Well,
Live from my kitchen.
but live from your kitchen, yes, respect. We should do a talk show called Live from Christian's Kitchen. Say that 10 times fast. Well, yes, we're live in Christian's kitchen, and you're live in my messy office area with those clothes just everywhere. So respect. But we are covering Monday Night Raw from not Christian's kitchen, but in Greensboro, North Carolina. And this episode of Raw took place on May 15th, 2023. And we start out with the Undisputed Tag Team Champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, coming out to the ring. Sami says, "We don't see our match at Night of Champions as a threat. It's a gift. We get to have revenge on Roman Reigns. Kevin Owens and I should have beaten Roman Reigns for the title, but he has cheated his way out of it. Now we are going to check him. Roman Reigns is making sure the bloodline crumbles. Nothing is enough for Roman. Roman, you want these titles, but you can't have them." And then Judgment Day comes out, and Judgment Day basically trashes KO and Sami. And Finn Balor says, "If we win, the line starts at Judgment Day." Basically, they tell Sami and Owens that, if you guys win at Night of Champions, we want to fight for the titles. Judgment Day and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn fight until Sami runs in with a chair and clears Judgment Day. So you can talk about the segment if you want, but how are you liking seeing Kevin Owens and Sami as tag team champions so far? It's been over a month now that they've had the titles. What do you think?
I mean, it's okay for them having the titles. I mean, they're two of the best wrestlers right now. They're good friends. This isn't much, something I'm hating on, but we all know we want to see these guys compete individually. I don't think they're going to be tag team champions much longer. But I also don't think, and I'll talk more about that another time, but I also don't think they're going to lose it anytime soon, which kind of sucks because there's good tag teams that now that the draft's done up a little bit, I think it's really time to split those titles up again. And it's just tough right now because they only have those titles because of the storyline, which makes sense. But again, tag team wrestling's kind of been of a joke ever since I know the Usos, best tag team, longest reign, but they've made the tag team division a joke, kind of, because they just beat everybody who they fight. So I think they need a rebuild in the tag team division. So I'm not short answer, no. Long answer, they can keep it for right now, but eventually we're gonna have to see something new in the tag team division.
Yeah,
It's rotten. It's rotten.
I'm already getting
It's worse than the women's division. Worse than the AEW women's division right now.
well, yeah, the tag teams, I can't even think of actual tag teams, but I do think that this team, even though they are friends, I am getting sick of it already. They shouldn't have even had the tag team titles involved to begin with in the storylines because them winning it, like their promos aren't about like, oh, we're best friends, we're so happy we did this. Their promos are still about ending the bloodline. It's like these titles don't mean anything. It's like, what is the purpose of having them? And yes, I'm glad they're gonna, be defending and taking on other opponents and other teams. But so far, their whole storyline hasn't been for the tag team titles. It's been, how do we end the bloodline and Roman? and it's like there's no need to put titles in that situation if
No,
you're
I agree.
titles.
I agree, and I also don't think. But but you gotta see. Here's the thing, though. If they don't put those titles on the line for the storyline purposes, what are they fighting for? You're gonna have WrestleMania. Oh, Sami Zayn versus KO versus who's I guess taking down the bloodline was supposed to be losing those tag team titles.
Well, maybe that might be the biggest problem here is that the storyline became bigger than the people in it. Because in the sense of that, like after this situation, like you're not gonna look at Kevin Owens and Sammy as tag champions. You're gonna look at them as the guys who ended the bloodline
I
or
agree.
the guys who had just because the bloodline has been so big for so long. And that's why it's like you shouldn't do that unless you're going to have somebody that you can undoubtedly say this person can defeat the bloodline because you're making these guys who Kevin Owens and Sammy are great, but they're not scary to Roman. Like if you want someone down the bloodline, you need someone who's really, really a serious threat. And it's not because Kevin and Sammy aren't good wrestlers. It's just because they're not, and I hate to say it, and I used to talk shit about Vince, but I do kind of get a little bit. They don't look, if you're going to build Roman for 2 years, they don't look like the people to beat Roman. Like when Brock beat
Oh,
Undertaker,
hell no.
I kept saying to myself, okay, so you're basically saying that Brock is better than Shawn, he's better than Triple H, he's better than, because all these guys couldn't beat Taker. So I think that they kind of bury themselves and back themselves in a corner with picking these two guys to be the ones to sort of take on the bloodline. They're going to need a bigger name to actually end it, I think, because they're just way too big. But let's move on. Our first match tonight, we have the Miz versus the Raw debut of Shinsuke Nakamura. And Shinsuke gets a win in a very decent match. He wins after the Kinshasa, and it seems like whenever you want to have a decent match, send them to the Miz. This isn't really going to be a long storyline here between these two, but what did you think of the contest? And I'm happy that Shinsuke's on Raw. I'm wondering what's next.
No, I like Shinsuke. Crowd likes him. He's very over. I'm just tired of the Miz always getting fucking,
Yeah,
beaten and used terrible. Miz honestly just quit wrestling and go to Hollywood.
yeah.
I mean, they don't do anything with him. They make him look like this tough guy. They use him for Miz TV, that's it. And half the time on Miz TV, he ends up getting interrupted and then gets his shit beaten up. Like no,
And also too, what I think is crazy about the Miz too is he's been in the business in WWE since 2006, right? And so like that's a long time, and he's not really winding down. He's still like
oh my god, no, he's
you're killing
phenomenal.
it. And so it's like
He's
you
great still.
can't compare him. And it
I
is
love the Miz.
yeah,
The
the
Miz
Miz is
deserves 10 times better than what he gets, and it's just sad to see. I mean, not having the Miz in WrestleMania in a match is just ridiculous. And fuck, even
he
last
was in a
year.
match. He lost to Snoop Dogg
Oh,
and
great.
to Pat
That just
McAfee.
proves my point even more. Like, why not him have an actual storyline, an actual match? He's a great heel with great heel work. He would put a phenomenal storyline on with somebody. I don't know what they're doing with the Miz. The Miz really needs to just go to acting. Go to acting. Do
Or
whatever. Go. The WWE doesn't they treat him like shit. He's ending up slowly like a Dolph Ziggler.
he definitely is. He definitely is. I mean, listen, I think the Miz has another title run in my eyes, but I don't know what
He's
WWE's
there to
doing.
put talent over, and it
Yeah,
sucks because he needs to be the one putting over. He's like you said, he's been in WWE for a long time, but he still is
a
not
lot more that he
close
can
to being
do.
done. Nowhere
I
close
just
to.
have a feeling that all these guys that we really see, like for example, I was talking about this about the Miz back in 2015, saying like, oh, he's not, being put over as much. Nothing's gonna change. Same with Dolph Ziggler, all these guys, it's gonna be the same crap. But let's move on. We find out that Liv Morgan, one half of the women's tag team champion, has been injured on SmackDown this past weekend. So Sonya and Deville and Chelsea Green want to be the tag team champions. And Raquel's like, let's have a match, Chelsea, me and you tonight. We'll talk about that later. We then get a long interview with Corey Graves and Seth Rollins where they discuss Seth Rollins' career in WWE and prior WWE and all the his attempts at, sort of his career highlights pretty much. Not a lot to talk about here, but just sort of good way to bring us up to speed on people who don't know a lot about Seth Rollins' career, or just for any fans to sort of look back and remember all of the accolades that Seth has done in WWE. We then get the Intercontinental Champion Gunther and Imperium. They come out. Gunther stands on the announce table, and Gunther says, "For almost a year, I dominated SmackDown as the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in the modern era. I shall continue my mission here on Raw. No one has been identified or earned my respect yet. Tonight, the Battle Royal will determine my next challenger at Night of Champions." So Gunther's out here to see the Gara Battle Royal, and in a huge shock, Mustafa Ali wins after drop kicking Ricochet and Bronson Reed off the apron. I gotta tell you, this is gonna be fucked up. I'm just gonna say,
Yep.
why did he win? Because they're going to Saudi Arabia. After this, his character is gonna go back to wearing the weird beanie hat and I'm positive. I don't think that's cool. They shouldn't do that because then it just shows that right. Like if I was Mustafa Ali, I'd be like, obviously I was going to turn down a title opportunity, but after this, nothing's going to come of it. What do you think though of this being Gunther's first challenger on Raw when some of his other opponents are people like Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, Pete Dunne, Ilya Dragunov, Tyler Bate? Even not even talking about his indie work, but what do you think of Mustafa Ali? I mean, and granted, he's a former United States champion, cruiserweight champion. He does have his, accolades, leader of Retribution. But what do you think of Mustafa Ali taking on Gunther?
Man, Mustafa Ali. I seen him back in 2018 when he was in 205 Live. After a SmackDown taping, he fought Buddy Murphy in the main event, and he looked phenomenal back then. Didn't have much of a gimmick. Was very baby faced because of that like mask he wore or whatever. But that was just kind of the last time Mustafa was relevant. Like I said, I think his best match was WrestleMania preview show, WrestleMania
Yep, I was
30
just thinking of that. Yeah.
with Cedric. That's probably his best ever match. I just think it just sucks because it looks like they're starting to give him a lot of momentum, but he's gonna get squashed at Madam Champion. And it's just gonna look bad. He might get a little bit of a pop because they're in Saudi. But
They're getting an early start too for Night of Champions. It's going to be at 1 in the afternoon.
are you serious?
Yeah.
And that's Saturday, next Saturday at 1 in the
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah. I
Holy
know I have to wait. I know I have to wait. Ant's working, so I have to wait for it.
so that means the pre-show starts at 12.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
Holy fuck. I don't know. A Saturday, yeah, I don't know if I might miss I might wake up just in time for it. Holy shit. But
I'm
yeah,
gonna watch it later. I unfortunately can't watch it live, but I'm definitely gonna watch it uh when it does come on. But I mean, yeah, I agree. There's gonna be a squash. But speaking of squash, here's something that I personally would like to squash. So Becky Lynch walks out to the ring, and Becky's like, we all have our struggles, and we put on a hat, we put on the face we do to be the people we want to be. I asked for help. Lita was great, and we won the women's tag team titles. Trish Stratus is great too. But Trish Stratus came back to help herself like the backstabbing egomaniac that she is. Thank you, Trish. When you hit me in the back of my head, you turned on a light that was off for months. When you called my daughter stupid, you reminded me to stand up to bullies. And at one stage, you were my number one, and you want to, and or at one stage, you were number one, and you want to be number one again. But I am it until I say it. Until I say it is over. I will show you how thankful I am when I kick your head in at Night of Champions. So we get the challenge, Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. I'm excited for this match. Obviously, I'm a fan of both, but I really have a feeling like, the rumors talking about this match happening at SummerSlam. I feel like some sort of weird shit's going to happen during this match if it is made. I also hate when they do no offense, but when they do the women's matches because they all have to wear fully clothed. It's like it totally takes away from the storytelling, I think. But what do you think about Becky's, comments and the challenge being made to Trish? Do you think, what do you think?
They should have saved this match for SummerSlam. This is Night of Champions. It should be what the fucking title sounds like. None of them are champions anymore. So what are they doing here? This is a match that could be, keep going with this story because this is Trish. This is most likely going to be Trish's final run. And it sucks what they're doing, man. I really think that they should have saved this match for SummerSlam, but hopefully like a disqualification or like Lita comes back or something.
I could definitely see like a big strong woman helping out Trish or some kind of thing, getting like in a way like that, and then having it be because I just don't see them like, I get they're in a big place like Saudi Arabia, but when you're in Detroit, have it at SummerSlam, man. Don't have this big showdown to happen here.
There was no point of Night of Champions. If they were gonna do a Night of Champions, they should have done it. They didn't. Did they have a pay-per-view last December? No. Because they had War Games and they didn't do anything.
Yeah, they didn't have one for December, no.
So they don't do TLC anymore. Okay, so excuse me. Holy fuck. Excuse me. So they don't do TLC in December anymore. Why not do Night of Champions? Have new champions rolling into Royal Rumble. I don't know. I think this
Because
is
WWE is about money, man. They're thinking
a bad time for
and they're going back to it. They're going back later on in the year, so it's not like this is their only show.
They're going back where?
I think in October they're going back to Saudi Arabia.
For what?
They do a 2-year show deal. I think they go there. If you remember last year,
Are they doing Crown Jewel?
probably. Well,
because I know Money in the Bank is in the UK.
that's in London. Yep.
Damn, what? Damn, did they do? Damn, I guess they did two Saudi shows last year. Did Elimination Chamber?
Yeah.
And they did Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel. Yeah.
They did Super Showdown. Not to. That was a shitty pay per view. Holy hell. Oh, okay. Well, that's stupid. I think there's the shows in Saudi aren't the crowd's okay. Don't get me wrong, but I mean it's just too. They make the shows out there to me feel like a movie.
It's gonna be another like house show type.
Very house show type vibe. Very. I saw this TikTok, and before we talk about it, because we're running out of time here for take a first break. I saw this TikTok. They literally Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss literally recreated their match from a fight scene in a movie. Like literally recreated it. So like, and I don't know. I just feel like it's just gonna be one of those shows. At a house show. At a house show, they recreated it was a TikTok. They recreated it at a house show. And I don't know.
That's funny. I mean, I can appreciate stuff like that, but I mean, you just had like a house show almost pay-per-view at Backlash. Don't do it a second time in a row.
Okay, that Backlash was nowhere near house show.
No, it wasn't near a house show, but I'm talking about like in terms of like these are matches that aren't going to make a difference. There wasn't any like progression in storylines. That's what I mean when I say a house.
Oh, I agree.
I don't mean like that. I just mean like there's no progression. These matches were just made just to put on for the fans.
No, I agree.
Next, real quick, we'll talk about this because I think we have time. The SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley is backstage, and Natalya confronts her. Natalya says, "You beat down a woman who was beaten. You deserve respect, but you're not giving it out." And Rhea says, "We all know you want me to care about you again. If you ever interrupt me again, I'm going to end your career." So no official challenge made by Natalya, but we do know it looks like Natalya is going to take on Rhea. She's right though. I mean, it looks like no one does really kind of care about Natalya. Ant was really into her at the Royal Rumble. But what is your take on this? There's not a lot to talk about, but
Natalya, no one cares about Natalya because as much as she uses that Hart family name to get herself over everywhere, She has in-ring talent, but she has no mic talent at all. She cannot cut a promo to save her fucking life. I don't give a fuck how long she's been in the business for. I don't give a damn. Someone needs to teach that lady how to cut a promo.
Teach that.
She should stick to reality TV. She shouldn't be on live TV. She shouldn't be on the program. I'm not a fan of Natalia. I never have been. I mean, she doesn't do anything.
She
She's
should
really
be on the
bad.
program. I love it.
Dude, she's bad. The crowd gives her no reaction.
Well, that's what I mean by she
Doesn't
should
have
be
a gimmick.
person.
She's never had a gimmick.
No,
She's always been Bret Hart's niece
the
or
cat ears.
Candy Anvil Neidhart's daughter. That's all she'll ever be. Jimmy, she'll always be one of those Hart family people.
Yeah, you better watch out, man. She's gonna attack you from behind and put you in the sharpshooter, man. And then that's elbow.
Please, you can't use Bret Hart's name to get yourself over forever. Sorry, but
Okay.
shout out to Tyson Kidd. I love Tyson Kidd.
We could quickly talk about this match too, because again, really nothing came of this. Dominik Mysterio with Rhea Ripley defeats Xavier Woods after Rhea nails Xavier Woods with like a punch, and then Dominik rolls him up. This is a decent match, but again, really no storyline progression for Dominik. What's next for him? Do we think he's going to get a title shot? Quick thoughts. What do you think is next for Dominik?
I love Dominik. I unfortunately, I just don't think the storyline between him and Ray is over quite yet. As much as I'd like it to be, I think they need to settle it out one more time. Ray versus Dom, part 2, one more time. Let it be the final straw.
Let it be.
But when Ray and before we take our first break here, I think a cool thing would be Ray and Dom versus Ray and Dom, Ray versus Dom, and Dom loses, and then like, I'm sorry, Dad, like leaves a Judgment Day and like reunites with his dad, whatever.
Okay. So a kind of full circle moment for Dom and Ray. Okay, respect.
A little humble moment, like I'm sorry, I fucked up, blah blah. Well, I
Okay.
think yeah, because I'll kill his character.
Well, we're going to take our first break. A lot of good thoughts from you, Christian. When we come back, we're going to talk about Cody Rhodes, and we have our main event, the Judgment Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am still your longest reigning pay-per-view champion of all time, Pakamadi ANC, and I'm joined by my good friend and co-host,
Christian.
Christian is still here in his kitchen, and we're covering Monday Night Raw. And really quick, we see a promo backstage from JD McDonough, and Facebook pointing out that we see Finn Balor watching from behind or from afar, watching this interview. And people have been saying that JD McDonough might be added as a member to Judgment Day. What are your thoughts on McDonough? Do you like him?
Not really. I mean, I don't really care too much.
He's really good. He's a good wrestler.
I know, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Speaking of not caring, Indus Sher makes their debut with Jinder Mahal, and they defeat the local talents. What do you think of Indus Sher, this tag team?
Who?
Indus Sher.
Is that Mahal and Mahan?
Yeah, that's their tag name. Indus Sher. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, they both kind of, they're Mahal's a former world champion, and then, or no, I'm sorry, Mahal's a former world champion. Mahan, what the fuck were they ever doing with that guy? He just disappeared. He was being Dominik and Ray, and they stopped booking him. He stopped being on TV. So I don't know.
Veer Mahan was supposed to be the man of Raw. I don't care about this team.
No, I don't either. He'd go out and beat the shit out of jobbers every night, and he'd look scary. I just forgot about it because he did that whole thing with Ray and Dom, and they just didn't go anywhere. They didn't have a match or anything. What the fuck?
No.
Dom turned heel after that. I'm pretty sure.
Well, we see Imperium and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn arguing backstage, which will lead to some developments later on the night. We then get Cody Rhodes coming out to the ring, and Cody says, "This is the very first home of Starrcade. Have you heard about the Scorpion and the Frog?" And I love this story because he's basically telling the same story that Donald Trump tells if you ever go back and look on YouTube, Donald Trump tells a story of it's like the snake and the lady and the snake or whatever. And basically it's about illegal immigration. He basically says that this lady helps a snake cross the river, and at one point the snake bites her and she's like, "Why are you biting me? You just killed me. I did all this stuff for you. Why are you killing me?" And the snake's like, "I'm a snake. Like, you should have known when you helped me that I'm a snake. I can't be trusted." So as he tells this story, I'm cracking up because I'm thinking like Cody Rhodes is definitely telling the same story analogy but with different characters. Basically, his story is that the scorpion and the frog, that basically the frog tries to help the scorpion basically destroys the frog, which is pretty much his analogy to Brock Lesnar. Cody says, "Brock must be hunting. How's your face? When I look in the mirror, I see the man who beat the what? Who beat the what? Oh, I'm the man who beat the bully Brock Lesnar. I'm sorry, I'm reading my own handwriting. It's terrible. Um, Brock is better than 99.9% of the people back there, but at Backlash, he was not better than me. This is about the big thing on Raw. You you are not the big thing. You have conquered this spot. You, sir, are not the big thing anymore. You're simply in my way." So again, strong words from Cody Rhodes. They're gonna fight at Night of Champions. But what do you think about this? Do you think is this gonna be like Brock's last situation? What do you think?
If it is, then that sucks because this definitely shouldn't be his last feud. Not with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
We're doing this to put Cody over because he lost that Mania. Brock's last feud should be with Bobby Lashley. That's just my personal opinion. But
Interesting.
we'll see what's next for Brock. I hope he still got some in the tank because this is definitely not a good way to go out. But good promo by Cody. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, he always gives these rah promos right before the pay-per-view, so this is one of them. We then get the women's tag team champions, one half Raquel Rodriguez defeating Chelsea Green with Sonya Deville after a Tejana bomb. And then from behind, returning Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler attack Raquel on the ramp. And they basically tell her that she will defend the titles with or without Liv. And then Shayna Baszler nails a hard knee to the face of Raquel. Are you excited that Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are back?
No, I want to see them fight each other.
Yeah, you've been saying that.
I've been saying that for fucking months. I want to see them fight each other so bad. But they're big names. Shayna's a beast. I just think they should be wrestling in the visual. This is a good way to get Ronda out of the main title picture again, as I think is she on Raw or SmackDown?
Who is that?
Her and Shayna on Raw now, right?
They're on Raw.
So maybe she'll challenge whoever the fuck the champion is in Raw. I don't know if it's still Bianca. I don't know if it's Rhea, but whoever the champion is, I think she should get an opportunity soon because she should belong in that just because it's Ronda Rousey. But at the end of the day, her title run just wasn't doing so well. But
Yeah.
we'll
Well,
see.
we see Gunther shaking hands with someone backstage, and it ends up being Paul Heyman. We then get our main event. The Judgment Day get a win over the tag team champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn after Damian Priest choke slams Kevin Owens on the apron and Imperium come out. Gunther holds on to Sami's leg, allowing Finn to nail a shotgun dropkick and a coup de grace. We now have more teams sort of rallying together to attack Kevin Owens and Sami. You now have Imperium that they got to look out for. You got to look out for Roman and Jay. You got to look out for the Usos. Who didn't they just on SmackDown? They didn't find they were fight. Yeah, who did they find on SmackDown a couple? It was Imperium a couple weeks ago. So yeah, so they got and the Judgment Day they fought. So you got all these guys, all these teams. What is your take on Imperium helping Roman Reigns? I would love to see Gunther and Roman.
Oh, that'd be a banger. Interesting, different. I mean, Imperium doesn't do much. They're just kind of Gunther's puppets, in my opinion. But they can wrestle. So we'll see what they do with the tag team. I know I say that a lot, but it's just because we're just gonna have to see because there's not too much to talk about with these guys because they don't do much, except have these couple tag team matches when Gunther doesn't feel like showing up.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's I I don't know why they do these part-time things. I think they need to have these guys sign on to these contracts and say they're going to be full-time. But this is kind of the way of
And they're
WWE.
long ass champions for no reason.
Yeah, for
Which
no
is why
reason.
I'm kinda
Not
happy.
every champion needs to be that.
Yeah.
Well, we have covered every part of Raw. What was your favorite moment of the night?
My favorite moment of the night was probably um just maybe I don't know. There's not too much happened here. Maybe like Ronda and Shayna coming because it maybe puts the mediocre women's tag team division on an already mediocre women's division. It gives them some strength. So I'd say Ronda and Shayna coming back.
For me, I don't really have a I guess I'd say seeing Becky Lynch challenge Trish because I'm excited for that to happen. So again, I mean, I know that's pretty much my always pick that I go for, but Becky Lynch challenging Trish. Well, we have Friday Night SmackDown to cover, and then we have pretty much we're a week away from Night of Champions. It is next Saturday, uh, live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. It's gonna be a good show. A lot more matches. We'll be covering well, not a recap. We'll be giving our predictions and then a recap. Christian, this is like another chance you get at this belt, and I don't know. Ant will be
Oh,
joining
I
us too.
know. I know. We'll see. We'll see.
But yeah, guys, we want you to stay safe and stay uncensored. Have a
On the
good
lookout
night.
for new shit too.
Yes, gonna be some new shit. You can talk about it, Christian. Go ahead.
I mean, no, I mean Double or Nothing's
Other
coming
stuff.
up. So me and Ant, not this Ant, but other
I'm the
Ant,
hot commodity.
not the hot commodity Ant, but we're gonna do more AEW stuff here. We're probably, if we have time, doing a Double or Nothing preview. Wembley Stadium's coming up, announced of the new AEW Saturday night show. So stay on the lookout for more AEW stuff coming out now that WWE has been WrestleMania is over. WWE hasn't been too interesting. So stay on the lookout for more AEW
Yeah.
content.
And you guys got a video that's gonna be coming up soon that I'm excited to watch. A lot of fun stuff there. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for all the good stuff coming out. Christian, again, man, I want to thank you again. And again, stay safe, everybody, and have a good night and stay uncensored. Bye, y'all. Peace.